Welcome to WordPress Theme Development with Theme Forest Standards. In this course, in this lesson, we will see what is in fact the hooks. The hooks, in fact, are hooks are a way for one piece of code to interact, modify another piece of code at specific predefined spots. They make up the foundation for how plugins and themes interact with WordPress core, but they are also used extensively by core itself. There are two types of hooks: actions and filters. To each either, you need to write a custom function known as a callback and then register it with a WordPress hook for a specific action or filter. What is in fact action? An action we will use a callback or a function called add action. Actions allow you to add data or change how WordPress operates. Actions will run at a specific point in the execution of WordPress core, plugins and themes. Callback functions for actions can perform some kind of a task like echoing output to the user or inserting something into the database. Callback functions for an action do not return anything back to the current action hook. We will see now the filters. Filters we use also add filter. We will see it in practice in the course in the next lessons. First of all, filters give you the ability to change data during the execution of WordPress core. It is the big difference between filters and actions, that the filters gives you the ability to change data during the execution of WordPress core. Modify it and return it. They are meant to work in an isolated manner and should never have side effects such as affecting global variables and output. Filter expect to have something returned back to them. We have to resume what they are hooks in fact. By now, actions versus filters. The main difference between an action and a filter can be summed up like this. An action takes the info it receives, does something with it, and returns nothing. In other words, it acts on something and then exits, return nothing back to the column hook. So, actions are something special, or some functions like to do not return anything to the function or to the code, but it does something with it and return nothing. In other words, it acts on something and then exits. A filter, rather than an action, or in the other hand, a filter takes the info it receives, modify it somehow and return it. In other words, it filters something and passes it back to the hook for further use. Said another way, an action interrupts the code flow to do something and then returns back to the normal flow without modifying anything. On the other hand, a filter is used to modify something in a specific way so that the modification is then used by code later on. The something referred to is parameter list sent via the hook definition. More on this later section. Okay, it is in fact on the WordPress.org documentation. Brief. We will go by now to our WordPress installation. We will go to code editor and we will add a couple of functions. Just before the head tag, we'll add a function called we'll begin our PHP statement and we will close it. We will add wp underscore head function, we will write semi-comma, and we will hit by now refresh. Nothing is changed. We will inspect the code, but we have something special here, which is this bunch of code, okay. And now I will go again to our code editor, and I will add just before the body ending body tag a PHP tag, sorry, and I will add the function called WP underscore footer semi-comma, and I will hit refresh by now. It will appear the monasty and the customize of our theme and the new post media page user, etc., and the administration. Before that we do not have this, and I will hit refresh here, and I will find something in the footer. I will hit refresh. Okay, we have this function, and we have WP content, root default, etc., etc. So last but not least, I will go to body tag, beginning of body tag, and I will begin a PHP tag like this, and I will add a body class without further ado, and when I hit inspect code or inspect elements here, I will go to body. We had customized support class data new grc shake loaded, etc., etc. And when I hit refresh, the body will have home, blog, logged in, admin bar, customized support. It is changed. So this is the role of this body class tag. Okay, so I will see you in the next lesson, where we dive more and more to our WordPress theme development for WordPress for theme for standards.